So when people say that Amazon KDP is one of the best businesses to start for a beginner, that's true, but only if you know what you're doing. In fact, most people teaching KDP online nowadays don't give you the full picture. And there's a lot of things that you should pay attention to if you're a beginner looking to start a business like this. In this video, I want to give you exactly what to do and what not to do if you're looking to start Amazon KDP in 2026 this year, based on what I tell my students and clients who I help every single day achieve between a few hundred to a few thousands per month with the first book that they ever published. So whether your goal is to achieve just a few thousands per month, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 per month, or even more than that, pay close attention to this video, and I really recommend you watch it all the way to the end, because I will give you the exact strategies that are working right now for me and my clients to achieve this type of numbers. If you're someone struggling to get started with Amazon KDP already and you're already looking for some solutions like that, then especially you need to watch this video all the way to the end to learn exactly how to do this and how to do this the right way. If you want more additional help, feel free to check out the description box. There are some programs linked there, or also scan the QR code that you find right here on the screen. So let's get into the video. I will show you the best strategies that took me to $1.2 million in book sales, actual sales. This is not money that I made by selling my KDP account or anything like that, like some people do online or show you online. This is actually book sales from Amazon from my ebooks that I published over the years. So let me make this really simple. Let's look at what's working right now on KDP in 2026 going into 2027. The truth is that KDP, of course, is not dead. People are still making money with this, and everyday beginners can start today and make money with this. But KDP is just not forgiving anymore. A few years ago, you could be a little average, still get away with it. Average topic for your book, average title for your book, average cover design for your book, description for the Amazon listing. And sometimes, honestly, it worked for a lot of people, not because the strategy was genius by itself, but it worked because the market was less sophisticated. The tools were slower and most people had no idea what they were doing. Now everybody has AI. That's the big problem, the big equalizer. Everybody can create a book. Everybody can ask ChatGPT for a good title. Everybody can make a cover with AI. Everybody can publish something in a weekend. It used to take months to create a good book. Now you can literally do it in a day. So the question is not, can I create a book? Of course you can, but the real question now is, can I create the right book for the right customer at the right time? That's what makes you successful with KDP in 2026 and going into 2027. That's also why I'm still very excited about KDP. That's why I still do it. After 12 years, almost 12 years of doing this, I started in 2014. I made multiple 7 figures with it, and still to this day, I publish books on Amazon. I will never give away this source of income. This source of income basically changed my life. The opportunity did not disappear. It just moved. It just changed a little bit. It moved away from execution into judgment. In the past, execution was the big advantage. If you knew how to create a book, you could make money on Amazon, whereas most people didn't know how to do it. It still is like that to this day. But of course, nowadays with AI, a lot of people can create books easily, and those books are of good quality on average. Now, what makes a difference is judgment. The money is in knowing what to build, why to build it, how to package it, how to price it. Very important. How to test it on the market and how to fix it if it needs to be fixed, and when to scale it to thousands of dollars per month. That's the game now, and honestly, that's the game I like. That's the game that you should like. Because when a business becomes more serious, the tourists leave. The wrong type of shortcut people leave. The people who treat this like a real publishing business get more room. They get more opportunity. There's a wide open market for people that really take this as a business. That has been my experience for the past 12 years, honestly. Every time people say it's saturated, Amazon changed everything, oh my god, KDP will not work anymore, it's too hard now. I've seen this happen over and over again. There's like waves of changes, and maybe Amazon is changing the algorithm, Amazon is changing some rules here and there, and people freak out, people panic. But every time the most successful publishers, the people that still made money over the years, me included, very humbly, a lot of people stayed in the game and made thousands of dollars per month because they simply adapted and they innovated. It works like this in any business, in any industry, right? No industry stays the same forever. Eventually you need to innovate, you need to change, you need to, stay ahead of the curve. The old lazy way stopped working. That's what they really mean when they say it's saturated or it doesn't work anymore. It means the old way doesn't work anymore. That's not a bad thing, because when you know how to innovate, how to apply the new way of doing things, you reap the rewards and the market will be wide open for you. I literally experienced this in first person, not only for me, but also for my clients and students. Now you may be asking, Roberto, do people still buy books? Like there's TikTok, there's YouTube, right? Do people still read? And the answer is, of course they do, right? We grew up believing in books. We think that books are the most legit source of information. When you want to improve your life, when you want to learn something, you look for a book. Amazon is still one of the biggest commercial platforms in the world and the biggest online bookstore in the world. Kindle Unlimited is still paying authors every month. This is a program that Amazon set up to pay authors. Every month that goes by, Amazon increases the amount of money they're willing to pay authors every single month. You can look it up. If you look up Kindle Unlimited fund for example, June 2026 or July 2026, you'll see that Amazon announces it publicly. And I believe this month is about 70 millions. The publishing industry also is still a massive industry, one of the biggest industries in our society. Audiobooks are growing, digital books still sell, print books still sell. People still love to order a physical copy of a book. People, of course, did not wake up in 2026 and suddenly stop wanting recipes, self-help advice, investing advice, study guides to pass exams, health information for fitness, business guidance, relationship help. That's a big one. Travel guides, big niche there as well. Language learning, this is where books and audiobooks really shine. Spiritual books, huge niche. Practical solutions to real problems. This is what we publish. This is what works in 2026 or 2027, not coloring books, Sudokus, puzzle, journals, notebooks. Forget all that. Those had a short window where there was no competition and the people doing those made some money on Amazon, true. But this is the type of stuff that never stops selling. Non-fiction books. Books that give practical solutions to real problems. This is what I've been publishing for years and they still pay me even years after being published. I have books that I published in 2014, 2015, 2016 that still pay me today, 10 years later, 11 years later, 12 years later. It's crazy. What happened is that low effort books stopped being impressive, right? Going back to the saturation problem. Low effort books are not impressive anymore. So of course people don't buy them. People are not stupid. There's more books available. There is a little bit more competition. You have to create better books nowadays. I still make 30K every month. I have beginner students that are now making $5,000 to $7,000 to $10,000 per month by publishing a few books on Amazon. So when someone says KDP doesn't work anymore, what they really mean is I published something, maybe I tried KDP and it didn't sell. Like my book did not sell. That's not the same thing as saying KDP doesn't work. It proves the product didn't work. And that is a much more useful conversation because now we can ask better questions and really understand why, if you tried KDP before, it didn't work out for you. Was the niche wrong? Did you pick the wrong topic? Was the angle that you choose for your topic too broad? Was the cover design of your book weak? Was the title too generic? Was the price too low to support advertising? Extremely important lever and feature of your book that most beginners really look past. This is where the top experts, the top publishers are very good at. Did the page fail to convert? Did the page on Amazon, the Amazon listing, actually managed to transform an Amazon visitor into an actual customer that purchased your book? Extremely important phase of the publishing process. Did the book look like every other AI book? Of course, if your book doesn't stand out, you're not getting sales, period. Let's talk about saturation. Of course, if you search weight loss book, it is saturated. You will see a lot of options for you to pick from. If you search self-help book, just imagine how many self-help books are out there. If you search investing for beginners, it's probably saturated. So how can you stand out? That's not a KDP problem, that's a lazy research problem. That's like walking into New York City, seeing a lot of restaurants and saying food is saturated. But that's not true because new restaurants keep popping up every single month and some of them become really successful. Generic restaurants are saturated. Restaurants with no reason to exist are saturated. Bad restaurants in obvious locations are saturated. The right concept for the right customer in the right pocket of the market can still do very well. And it's the same exact thing with Amazon publishing. What's crowded is the surface, because that's where everybody looks. The real opportunity that can actually make you a passive income of thousands of dollars per month is usually underneath that. One layer deeper, sometimes it can be 2 layers deeper. Let me explain a little bit more what I mean by this. Sometimes it's the same broad topic, but for a much more specific person. Sometimes it's the same person, but with a more urgent problem. Sometimes it's a boring topic with huge demand that nobody wants to touch because it's not sexy. Sometimes it's a niche where the books are already selling, but the covers look old, amateurish, not high quality, the subtitles are weak, they're not really speaking to the real pain points of the person, they're not really speaking to them. That's where I get interested. When I see a weak book still making sales, I don't see saturation, I see permission. The market is basically saying people want this badly enough that they're even buying this book that is low quality, but people want this topic badly enough that they're willing to buy that because it's the only option they have available to purchase. That's permission for me to enter, or for any clients of mine, to enter into the market with a better book, a book that is high quality. And that's when they make a lot of money. That only happens when you actually sit down and research. Not for just 5 minutes of your day, not by asking AI for 10 books ideas and picking the one that sounds cool to you. I mean real research, using your unique human intelligence, which is something that seems like we forgot to do. Open Amazon, look at the books, look at the covers, look at the reviews, look at the prices, look at the rankings, look at what people complain about, look at which words keep repeating, look at where the books are ugly but still selling. Research the topic on Google, Reddit, Quora, YouTube comments, online forums. Dig deep into this. How can you create a book that becomes potentially a bestseller on Amazon on a particular topic and you don't know what the topic is about? Doesn't mean you need to be an expert in the topic. Of course, I published books where I was not an expert into whatever I was writing about. I knew some basics because I did some research. You don't need to be a total expert. Usually, most of the time, what we publish is books for beginners. People that usually purchase a book on Amazon are total beginners in that particular topic. If they were looking for advanced expert information, they would directly work with someone. They would hire someone. They would have a consultation with someone that is truly an expert. When people are simply looking for a book on Amazon, they are looking for the first entry into that topic. And they do it through a book because books are cheap. They are considered to be a legit source of information. It's the first step into learning about a new topic for them. And when that happens, all you need to be is to be simply a couple of steps above the reader. All you need to give them is that information and that's it. Of course, you can then explore potentially expanding your portfolio of books with more advanced books later on. If you see that that particular topic is very successful for you and brings you money, of course you can do that. But at the beginning, all you need to do is books for beginners. And AI is totally capable of giving information to these people. Now, the thing is, you need to give research some time. Give it a couple of hours. That alone will put you ahead of a lot of people because most people won't even do this. They'll ask AI for a list and call it research. But that's outsourcing your judgment. Remember, judgment is the advantage now. Execution, easy. Anyone can create a book. But your judgment, your human intelligence is the true advantage in 2026 going into 2027. Now, let's talk about AI. A lot of people are worried about it. A lot of people are afraid that Amazon might be against it. But that's a totally irrational fear because Amazon itself invested heavily into AI. They're one of the top investors into Claude and Anthropic. So Amazon is definitely playing the AI game. I love AI. I use AI. Of course, we teach how to use AI properly with the right prompts inside of Accelerated Publishing, our masterclasses or our mentorship program. I think AI has made this business faster than ever, of course, but AI is not the strategy. AI is a tool, a very powerful tool, but still a tool. And the danger right now is that people are becoming so AI dependent in the exact part of the business where they should be developing taste, human taste, the real advantage, the real differentiator that I've seen across me and my students that get the most success. Unfortunately, most people trying KDP or publishing books on Amazon let AI choose the niche. They let AI choose the angle. They let AI write the title, the outline, the book, the description. Of course, AI needs to be used. Everyone uses it nowadays, even professional writers. But there's a difference with letting AI decide everything for you and you becoming the director and the publisher behind your products. Most people use AI for everything and then they wonder why the whole thing feels generic. Of course it feels generic because you let the machine make every decision for you. But you need to use AI like a smart assistant instead, not like your boss. You still decide the market. You still decide the angle. You still decide if the title has life in it. Extremely important part of the book is the title. Does it have life? AI titles are very and oftentimes a little too cold. You still decide if the cover would actually get clicked. You still decide if the book feels human. And sometimes you need to look at what AI gives you and say, no, that's too obvious, that's too cold, that's too generic, that sounds like every other book, try again. That sounds simple, but that's truly the skill that will differentiate your success in 2026 and 2027. You don't have to be a writer to do this. Most importantly, where you need to add your human touch to is the exterior part of the book, not the interior, not the content itself, but the exterior, the title, the subtitle. the cover design too. That's what makes the book sell. Remember this. This is what I tell my students all the time. People on Amazon, they don't have a chance to look inside of your book before purchasing it. This is what people do in physical bookstores, local bookstores. Think Barnes & Noble in the US. They go into the bookstore, they get a book that they are attracted to, they can see it physically, they can scroll through it and decide whether to buy it or not. On Amazon, that cannot happen because it's an online store. What happens on Amazon is people will judge whether to purchase your book or not by the outside, the title, the subtitle, the listing. What do you say in the listing? Potentially the reviews as well. Does your book have good reviews or not? And most importantly, the cover design. The cover design does 80% of the work here. So if you can focus adding your own unique human taste without letting AI decide everything for you, especially in the exterior part of your book package, that already sets you above the 99% of publishers or people trying to be publishers on Amazon. Because if everyone has the same tools, the person using the tools with better judgment wins. This is also why I don't buy the idea that Amazon hates AI. I think that's a wrong frame. Amazon does not hate AI. As I said, there are big investors into it. Amazon hates bad customer experience. They've always hated this ever since I started in 2014. If you use AI to create a thin, lazy, generic book and customers refine it or complain about it, then Amazon has a problem with you, and they should. Right? Because you're ruining their customer experience. This is what KDP is currently asking publishers during the publishing process on the KDP platform, which is the Amazon platform called Kindle Direct Publishing, where basically we publish a book on. It's simply asking you a set of questions to gauge what people are using when it comes to AI. They want to know what tools you're using, if you're using particular tools for text, images, or translations, and if so, to what extent and what tools actually. So as you can see here, I said yes, I used AI tools in creating text, and I selected in some sections with extensive editing. Of course, I'm being honest. I don't recommend you lie or say that you didn't use AI if you did. I recommend all of my clients to do the same, and I used Claude as the tool. So as you see, I tapped Claude. This is all Amazon is asking. So the irrational fear of Amazon is against AI, Amazon is blocking AI books, that's not true. Amazon is simply getting a direction because Amazon itself is coming out with their own writing tools. It was supposed to come out in 2026. We'll see if it will come out by the end of the year or maybe next year, but Amazon itself is interested in having their own tool. Next big thing, is it hard to make money with Amazon KDP? This is where most people make the next mistake. They think making money with KDP is hard because the model is broken. I think it's hard because most people are casual. KDP is simple, extremely simple as a business. However, it's not casual. The model is very simple. People search for books on Amazon every single day. Amazon gets 11,000 orders per minute in 2026. People search for books on Amazon every single day. You create the right book, you put it in front of the right buyer, Amazon sells it for you, and you earn royalties, basically a commission for every sale that you get. Simple, clean. But casual is different. Casual is picking a niche in 10 minutes. Casual is trusting the first AI title that ChatGPT gives you. Casual is making a cover because it looks nice to me. Casual is pricing the book with no idea what the margin is. Big mistake. Casual is running ads and panicking after 3 days because you don't really know what you're doing with your advertising. Casual is publishing one book, checking the dashboard every morning and deciding the whole business doesn't work. That's what's getting punished currently by the state of the market, not publishing itself. Casual publishing is being punished. And I'm very glad of it because the people who treat this like a business, like I've always said, are the ones who should win. One of the biggest signs that someone is still thinking casually is pricing. They say, I'm new, so I should price low. In non-fiction, low pricing can hurt you. Extremely important. The buyer is not always looking for the cheapest book. If someone is buying a book about taxes, investing, a professional exam, health, or a serious personal problem, they're not thinking, how do I save $3? They're thinking, which book will actually help me? This is an extremely important reframe that you need to remember because a lot of people came into publishing from low content or coloring books sort of programs, you know, or people on internet that they recommended this type of publishing. But of course, price matters in those niches because coloring books, those books are commodities. A commodity is a product that you can find everywhere. And so at the end of the day, what you're looking for is the cheapest one. When you're looking for a coloring book to relieve your anxiety, and there are hundreds of options and they all pretty much look the same, of course you're getting the cheapest one. But in non-fiction, which is what I do, what we do, what my clients do, pricing actually can help increase your perceived value, your perceived quality. If you're looking for a book on saving taxes and one is $10 and the other one is $30, most likely the $30 book is at least perceived to be of a higher quality. You make more money, Amazon is even happier because they make more money, and that's an upward cycle, a positive cycle that keeps feeding itself. That's how you publish nonfiction. Any business that doesn't make money, that doesn't have a high margin, is destined to fail. That's why we don't recommend low content books. That's why we say only publish high priced nonfiction books. We are publishers. We do this for money. We do this to have an income. And if you have a business with low margins, there's no business. There's no income for you. We need a business with high margins. We need products priced high. We don't want to look like the cheap option. We want to be the premium option. What actually works right now is not complicated. Real research works. Packaging works. Margins work. Testing works with ads. Portfolio thinking works. Don't just publish one book and hope that it will do well. Hopefully it does. I wish it with all my heart. But sometimes you just need multiple books. It's simply hard to predict which book will actually blow up. Oftentimes, it's the one that you least expect to blow up that will actually make you thousands of dollars per month. So never stop at the first 1 or 2 books that you publish. At least publish 5 to 10 books. Of course, not immediately, but give yourself that goal. The reason portfolio thinking matters so much is because one book is not the business. One book is a test. The portfolio is the business. Most beginners want one book to save them, and sometimes that happens, but when you think like a publisher, the first book is not your identity, it's data. Maybe the niche is good, maybe the cover is weak, maybe the market is real, but your angle is too broad. Maybe the book sells a little, and that tells you there's something worth building. Then you create the second book, then the third, then maybe a bundle of those two, creating an additional book, a sort of collection. Then maybe audio versions of those, then maybe translations of those, then maybe another marketplace outside of Amazon as well. This is how one idea starts becoming an asset. Right book for the right person at the right time. Those makes tens of thousands of dollars per month. But most book, from what I've seen, an average of me and my clients makes between $800 to $1,000 per month. That's a realistic expectation for a book done well. In publishing, a small number of books usually carry a large part of the income. That's why you don't build one book and emotionally worship it. You build enough good assets that the winners start carrying the portfolio. It's the good old 80-20 rule. 20% of your books will make 80% of your income. Basically, if you have 10 books out there, 2 of those will make most of the income, and the other 8 books that you have out there on Amazon will, of course, participate in creating an income for you, but they will be smaller. They will help you compound the income, diversify the income, but the winners will be only 2 out of those 10. I experienced it with myself and my clients. It's called the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. Having multiple books, having assets is the true KDP business for 2026 and 2027. Once a book has proven demand, you have something valuable right there, so you need to squeeze it as much as you can. The beginner looks for the next random idea, but the publisher asks, how do I get more value out of what already worked, out of what I already have and what I have already done? This is why publishing is working smarter and not harder. It's one of the smartest businesses you can start truly, and I say that really from my heart. There's no other business that allows you to diversify your streams of income from the same work that you did. So you literally create one book once, and then you can translate the book, publish the book in different formats, and that takes a very minimal amount of time. The hardest part, if you want to say, is creating the book. First, you need to put some effort into it, but then you can literally transform this source of income into multiple streams of income. That's truly the definition of having a smarter business and not a harder business. You don't have to start from scratch every time. And this is why there are also different paths to get started with this. Some people just need the system, they want to learn it, they want to follow the steps, they want to build it themselves. If that's you, the masterclass is perfect for you. Some people want to build, they don't want to make every decision alone. They want someone to look at the niche, the title, the cover, the strategy, and say, yes, this makes sense, or no, don't do that, you're about to waste your time. If that's you and you feel like you need more guidance to get started with this, the mentorship is actually the best program for you, and you can find, of course, more information down below in the description of this video. Some people understand the opportunity, but they don't want to become the researcher, the strategist, the cover person, the formatter, the launch person, and the ads person. They're simply busy. They want the asset built properly from the beginning. And if that's you, the Done For You portfolio offer is the right start for your business. Those are different paths that we offer people to get started with this, but it's the same game. The real point in 2026 is that KDP has to be approached seriously now. You can learn it, or you can build it with guidance, expert guidance from myself, or you can have it built for you from me and my team. But the days of treating this like a weekend trick are fading. This is very important. In business, we want sustainability. That's the whole reason why I started publishing 12 years ago. I wanted long-term sustainable income, something that can come in passively, whether I was working that day or not, whether I was taking off the whole month or not. That's truly my life. And I say this very humbly, but truly this has been my experience with publishing. Once you build it properly and you have this foundation, you have these books out on Amazon, this passive income coming in, you can literally take time off. You don't have anyone to ask permission for, and the business still work because the books are on Amazon and Amazon is selling them for you.